Let me explain something to you right now. I get the text from Phil the other day. Did you see the documentary on Action Park? And I'm like, listen here. I said, I don't need to see your documentary. I lived it. This is what kills me. Did they come to me with this documentary? Did anybody come to me? Did Konami come to me with the Turbo Mini? No, because they would have got the real scoop. I got news for you right now. Growing up on Long Island, okay, everybody wanted to go to Action Park. It was up in Vernon Valley, New Jersey. Okay? And this is back when Bon Jovi was hitting on all cylinders, and New Jersey thought they could get away with anything. Yeah. So they built this water park from hell. Basically. Oh yeah. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. I used to beg my mother to go to Action Park. But we had neighbors that were like, we had a next door neighbor that came back from Action. She got like a little cute on the Alpine slide, and she came home in like traction. Yeah, she looked like you don't see this anymore. Like the cast with the stick like this. Like the hard cast. What happened to the hard cast? You know, the one that everybody, it was like white when you first got it, beautiful, you go to school. Not the fiberglass cast. The plastic cast that was all like, it was all bumpy and deformed and everything like that. People would write on it. They'd write dicks all over it, or, you know, tough break, Susie. This type of thing. Everybody would write on it. Oh my God, it was a party. It's a cast party. There was nothing else to do. We didn't have Amazon Prime. Now a kid comes to school, he's got a carbon fiber cast. Yeah. I only have to wear it for 2 days. We had to wear a cast for like 6 months. You take off the cast, your arm looked like something a dog could chew on. Your arm was all atrophied. It would stink. Remember the cast would start stinking? You had to stick a hanger down there because it was itchy. This type of thing. Yeah. So yeah, she got busted up on the Alpine slide. We're talking about like the skin on a leg was like disappeared all the way up a leg. Oh my God! And you're thinking to yourself, Jesus Christ, what's going on over there in this place? I want to go. Oh, by the way, when you go to get your cast cut off, this is before I know everybody's got a vibra saw now. I don't know what it's called. The vibrating saw. You cut molding with it. Everybody's got it now. But back then, you go to the doctor and you'd be like, hold still. I cut the last guy's arm off. You know how doctors like to joke with you? And you're like, you're a kid, you tremble. I remember I broke my wrist. All right? Yeah. My sister's boyfriend was getting schmart with me. And I threw a punch at him and he ducked, and I shattered my wrist on the door frame. Yeah, oh, that was fun. Immediately jumping up and down on one foot around the coffee table. And then my mother comes in. Are you okay? I'm like, do I look like I'm okay? I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, jumping on one foot around the coffee table. Yes. Anyhow. So I would beg my mother to go to Action Park. Everybody wanted to go to Action Park. No, I couldn't go to Action Park. No, I couldn't go to Action Park. But miraculously, we had this guy down the road from us, all right? I was friends with his 2 sons, okay? This guy was a little out to lunch, okay? Number one, he used to call one son dog shit and the other son retard. All right, just to give you an idea where his moral compass was. Okay? And his name was Snake. Okay? Everybody knew Snake in the neighborhood. Yeah. He's off his fucking rocker. But I asked my mom, Snake is going to Action Park. So basically, Steak had a van, and if he was going to Action Park, all the neighborhood kids would load into the van. Can you imagine this? So I said to my mom, miraculously, she allowed me to go. She must have been like 2 gallons of box wine in to give me this fucking permission slip. Yeah, sure, go. Go with the neighborhood maniac to Maniac Land. Yes, that's basically what happened. I mean, I think about it now and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So yes, I went with retard and dog shit into the van. I mean, if anybody had a reason to go into a McDonald's and just machine gun the place, okay, it might have been dog shit and retard. But as it turns out, they're like the most normal people you're ever going to meet in your life. They're like the greatest 2 guys ever. Now. So, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. So we all load into the van. By the way, we used to go to the beach with this guy. So we'd load into the van and go to the beach. And, by the way, every time we would drive by a church, he would roll down the window and say, "Fuck God, I'm God." Just to give you a little background info here. Yeah. A little terrifying, but hey, I guess everybody's got a thing going on. So not to mention, we rolled, number one, this van, the fact that this van could make it to New Jersey is like beyond belief. Okay? I don't think there was a regularly, like a regular service schedule, like to the oil changes and whatnot. I could be wrong. But judging by the outside appearance, I doubt it. Anyhow, we get up there and, the chaperones for the day, they might have started smoking weed in the parking lot immediately before we go into the theme park. The water park. Yeah. So, there you go. And I'm like, I'm like Mr. Dare. I'm 13 years old at school. They're teaching me that drugs are bad. Yeah, thank you. Why don't you teach me some mathematics? How about some science? And I listen to Iron Maiden and I'm like, there's people smoking drugs here. This is not good. This type of thing. I'm like a narc. So now I'm petrified because now I'm in another state and we're about to go into this loony bin theme park. Now, let me explain something to you guys right now. The most terrifying thing that you got to understand about Action Park in the 80s, okay, wasn't the rides. Okay? Number one, nobody had water shoes. I love it now how kids go to the water park and they're like, "Mommy, I need my water shoes, and where's my towel, and where's my SPF 50 sunblock?" Okay? I went there with a bathing suit on and a t-shirt. And you took your shoes off at the van because there was nowhere to put them. Okay? And then you walked across 3,000 degree asphalt to get in a water park where all the walkways were done by like a stucco carpenter. It was all... Every walk... By the end of the day, your feet were so raw. That was the one thing that really blew my mind about Action Park. You could barely walk by the end of the day. And you were there all day. And there was no towel. There was no money for food. I didn't bring money for food. Maybe French fries. With water? There was no water. You know how moms now, fat mom comes in with the case of, Poland Spring water. And water's for everybody. We'll go back out to the car, have lunch, drink water. There was no water. I'm amazed when I think about it now. And there was no sunblock. I would come home from Action Park with such a bit. I think about the hellacious sunburns that I had. I would come home with a water blister on my back. You'd have to have the fucking, the crew at Yankee Stadium. You know how they run the tarp out? They could have ran the blister skin off my back. I'm not kidding. Like sheets of skin would fall off. Like when you cook a pig. So anyway, you would go there, and I remember I'd have to take my shirt off, which was like a nightmare for me. Because I'm like 100 and... like at that time, I was like a tall kid, but I'm like 120 pounds. Okay? And you take off your shirt, and it's like... I'm waiting for the bulldozers from Auschwitz to start chasing me around. Like my rib cage is hanging out. I'm white with pink nipples. This type of thing. Do you understand? Okay, I'd love it. You'd go there, and it'd be like the inner city kids would be there. Like the black kids, the Puerto Rican kids. You know, they'd be all tan. They're like buff. I don't know what they're eating. You know, they're walking around. There's like big packages in their pants. I look like when I put on my swimsuit, it's like vacuum packed. There's no package in the front. I mean, this type of thing. I know. And red hair. You know, I know my hair is kind of like blonding now as I'm getting old. And falling out, thank God. But back then, I had like cherry red hair. I was like the anti good looking guy. I don't know if that's even possible. Like if you took like I don't know. Like a really handsome man and you took like and you put him in one of those tubes and you reversed the ionic molecular structure of the person in another tube, I would come out. I'd be like, hey, where are my cigarettes? All right, for Christ's sake. Anyway, there was, when I would go to Action Park, okay, there were a couple rides there. I did not enjoy it. I don't know how to make that clear. I was scared, number one. And I don't look for thrills and chills. There's some kids that go for thrills and chills. They'll run and jump onto things and not even think. My mind was constantly thinking about how I was going to die. So there were a few rides that I just wanted to get over with. The first ride I wanted to get over with was the ride that went straight down. Fast forward, just so you could get a more adult idea of, or a teenager's idea of Action Park. Me and my buddies, we all get drunk. Okay? We're hanging out all night till 5 o'clock in the morning. Then we crash at my parents' house, and we decide to drive to Action Park the next day in my car. By the way, waking up maybe an hour later. So 6 o'clock, so we can get there on time. We all pack into my 77 Thunderbird, drive down to Action Park. Oh, and my buddy gets us, my buddy's legendary for getting us lost. And he just happens to be Polish. So, I mean, listen, you take that and digest that the way you want to. Anyhow, we get to Action Park, and by the way, Phil had this t-shirt that he got from Snake, by the way, who knows an artist in the Dominican Republic. And on the t-shirt is a woman. She's got her tits hanging out. And she's got two fingers in a snatch. And she's pulling a snatch open. I can't describe to you how vulgar this t-shirt is. But we're all saying, hey, Phil, you got to wear this shirt to Action Park. So Phil's like, okay, Phil will do anything. We walk it. We get to Action Park. We walk through the gates, and they must have like the security system, like the most amazing security system of all time. This guy comes running up to us. He goes, "Guys, shirt's gotta go." So I don't know what he did. I think Phil turned it inside out or something like that. Which, by the way, when it got wet, then you could see it, the negative of the picture, basically. Anyhow. Again, even though I'm a teenager now, 18, 19 years old, there's one ride I gotta get out of the way. And it's that fucking slide that goes straight down. Do you know this slide? It's like you climb, I don't know, 10 flights of stairs, maybe more, and then the slide goes straight down. And you're up at the top and you can see all of fucking New Jersey. Yeah, all of beautiful New Jersey. That's what you need to see. That's my last sight before I die. And the thing is, the slide had a bar. I love this. It had a bar so you could like hold yourself as you go down. And a canvas. There was a canvas cover like the first 20, 30 feet down so you wouldn't fall off the slide. And people did fall off the slide, by the way. And Phil was like fucking bananas out of his mind. He would grab the bar and whip himself down the slide. I would get on and I'd be like, okay, and then let go. And you go down, and then the pants would go up the ass. Well, you weren't wearing pants, but hey, you understand. And then once I did that once, I was done. Phil was like running up and down the stairs, doing it over and over again. I'm like, I'm out. I did it once. For some reason, I felt an obligation. I had to do every ride once. But then, what people don't talk about Action Park is the most terrifying ride I thought they had there was they had this slide made out of rollers. There were metal rollers. And you go to the top of the slide and you get on a mat. And you'd slide down the mat on the rollers, and there was no handles to hold. Oh, there was handles on the side. There was handles on the side, just inches away from the rollers. So if you got off that mat at all and you put your hands down, it was like putting your hands into a pasta machine. How this ride, and it stayed there for the as long as I know Action Park was there. It was there. I couldn't believe this ride even existed. I even knew getting on it. I said, this is ridiculous. Yes. And then there was the looping slide, which only was in Action Park for a short time, I believe, because this is how insane this was. It was a water slide that would do a loop. Yes. And what would happen is you'd go up there, the guy would weigh you to make sure you made it through the loop. I think you had to be like 110 pounds. Make sure you would... I'm imagining the guys at Action Park testing this thing. Yeah. Get some sandbags up here. We're going to see if this fucking thing will really work. They're all laughing. This is ridiculous. Give me a sandbag. And they would see if they would make it out the other side. By the way, you would go through the loop and then bang your head as it shot you out into a puddle. It shot you out into a puddle of water. Not into a pool, into a puddle of water. And you would skip across this puddle of water. So anyway, we went with these girls, and we had this one girl, Kira. And she went up there, and she didn't weigh enough. She was like, I don't know, 5. This Kira weighed nothing. She's probably like 100 pounds. And the guy's young guy. You know, they hire young guys to watch over the rides or whatever. Guy's like, you can't go on. She's like, oh, come on, you know, like charming the guy, like sweet talking the guy, like, come on, let me on the ride, let me on. And he's like, he did one of these with his feet on the floor, you know, like, oh, okay. He lets Kira on the ride. We're all up on the top of the scaffolding there. Kira goes down, and she doesn't come out the other side. Next thing you know, we hear it sounds like the fucking alarm from an aircraft carrier. It was like, whoop, 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 whoop. The grounds crew comes running. These guys came out of nowhere on like this fucking drag racing golf cart. They come out, they got tools, there's a hatch on top of this tube. Now you have to understand something. Kira's in the bottom of this tube. They had it was like fire hose jets of water to keep the tube lubricated. You understand? A constant flow of water. So she's under there getting pommeled by these water jets. It's like the jacuzzi from hell. The ground crew comes out with, by the way, a cordless impact gun, which didn't exist at the time, as far as I know. And I remember that because there was they weren't get the extension cord plugged in. They came up and they had an escape hatch on top of the tube. And the guy came over, he's like, boom, 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 boom. they rip the hatch off and they reach in, and it was like watching this slide get a C-section. They rip her out of the, like, by her hair. Like, she looked like a drowned rat. She came out, she was like this, like laid her on the ground. The whole, there's like a medic crew out there. And then the greatest part was, now we're talking about the 90s, guys. All right. The supervisor came out, went up to the top of that fucking water slide and screamed at the guy all the way down the stairs. He was getting yelled at all the way down the stairs. And it was like better than watching Kira's ordeal with the slide, was watching this guy get yelled at. Where are the cameras? Where are cameras? Where are cell phones when you needed them back then? Anyhow. And then you had the Alpine slide. Yeah. Which is basically like, you go to a top of a hill, and there were all these concrete flumes. I don't know what they were, slides. They were open, just slides. I don't know, it was almost like if you cut a pipe in half, you know? Cross-section pipe, but concrete, going down this hill. And there were tracks, and each track went a different way. And they gave you this sled, which had like, I don't know, like skateboard wheels on it. And you had a handle between your legs where you would press down, which you would press down, and it would apply a brake. And I got news for you right now. I can't even imagine if 50% of these fucking carts had working brakes. Okay? And you had to use the brake to go around corners. You had to slow yourself down. And when you got to the top, you were sitting online, they had the wall of shame. And it was pictures of people that got fucked up on the Alpine slide. And we're talking about people that needed like skin grafts. That like all their skin was torn off the side here. They're like people in casts, people with arms missing. You don't even understand. It was like gruesome. You look at this wall, I think they were trying to scare you into being safe. So basically, I would get on and I'd be riding the brake all the way down. My sled would be catching fire. Because I'm like, I don't want to end up on the wall of shame. I don't want to be dead. And the whole heart of Action Park was this spring water. Of course, it was Vernon Valley. It was up in the mountains, right? This was in the valley of the mountains here. So all the water that powered this park was spring water. Ice cold. And you would do the Tarzan jump. I got news for you. You want to judge the health of society? Just get a Tarzan jump. Okay? You'd be amazed how many people can't hold their own fucking weight on a rope. It would be the greatest thing. They actually had bleachers set up so that you could sit in the bleachers and watch people fuck up the Tarzan jump. It was like a rope you would grab like this. You were split. They told you, grab it like this. You had the grip. Remember, you had to grab it with this type of grip. But then you had cowboys that would grab it like this. And you say, oh boy, here it comes. Get the fucking Polaroid ready just for the right time. And if you grabbed it like this, you were going to fall. That's it. You're going to go down and just belly flop into the water. That was the greatest thing ever. And then some people were too afraid to let go, and they'd swing back and they'd hit the deck, which had like one of those gymnasium wrestling pads to block you, but the impact, you were getting fucked up. Sometimes they'd hit the deck, let go, and fall into like the shallow water near the rocks. Come on! Sip of coffee for Action Park. To go back to that today would be insane.
It's great! These are the most amazing rides in the world. I love it here.
There's nothing in the world like Action Park.
It would be insane to go back to that today. Yeah. And then the coup de grace was when you got done with water park action, You go across the bridge, and then there was like motorway or something like that. And then they had these fucking boats you could go on, and the boats had like a 5-horse Briggs on them. You understand? And what you would do is, it was a round course, and they had guys standing around at the beginning, and right towards the end of the course, they had like guys that would watch. But there was like little islands that you could go through with the boats. And what you would do is, once you were out of like the supervision of these like sentries that they had, these guys, hey, don't drive like that. You know, hey, you're getting too close. Don't hit the other boats. This type of thing. When you got out of the sight of those guys, you would reach around the back. Because listen, every kid in the 80s mowed a lawn. You knew where the throttle was on a 5-horse Briggs. You would reach back and grab the throttle because they were governed. They had a little screw in there. You'd reach back, grab that throttle, and rev that thing into little bits of sparks of piston rings that were flying out of the exhaust. Rev it to the moon, baby. Woo! And that boat would get up and go. Let me tell you something. They didn't want to use gas. Those things weren't going fast. Yeah. Oh, by the way, walking to the bridge from Action Park, this was like kind of when the sun's going down, you know, you go over to Motor Park. So everybody would go over to Motor Park there. And going over the bridge, this guy drops right in front of me and starts having a seizure. Yeah, I mean a full-on seizure. Like a fish in a bucket. Foam coming out of the mouth. And I was like, listen, I gotta go. I had to step over him. I was like, I felt bad. But what do you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? I gotta get to the go-karts. I mean, if I was having the seizure, I would have mustered everything I could to be like, all right, kid, just go to go-karts. I get it. Nothing we can do here. I mean, well, I'm not putting my hand in his mouth. I mean, that was the thing when somebody has a seizure. Take a spoon. Take a spoon. Put the spoon in his mouth. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Put a spoon in his mouth, and he fucking shatters his teeth, crunching down on it. Yeah, then I got to pay the dentist bill? Sorry, I'm out. I'm out, buddy. I don't know what happened to him. Throw a bucket of water on him. I don't know what you do. Throw a bucket of water. That's my instinct. Anyhow. Then they had the real, like, F1 cars. You had to be, like, you had to have a fucking license. Go fuck yourself. We were getting the go-karts, the little go-karts, and whatever, motor around. Bip, bop, boop. I mean, what are you going to do? That's Action Park. Then I remember when we left there. Okay? I drove. Now, we leave there. It's like, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. We got an hour's sleep and a whole night of drinking the night before and no sleep. Probably the day before that. We get in my car, and I want to explain to you the exhaustion after a day at Action Park. I mean, a full day at Action Park. With no water drinking, dehydrated, sunburnt. Now we're sitting in the car. Before I even get my car out of the parking lot, everybody in the car is asleep. And I'm like, oh no. This is no bueno. I start driving. I've never been so exhausted in my life. Yeah. My old man told me a story about how when he got out of Vietnam, he was in Colorado. And he took all the money that he got from the army and he bought a 68 Camaro with a 396 big block. Oshka fucking ringa. 4-speed, the works. And he had no money in his pocket. And he lived right here in New York, right? So he just started driving home. He just got out of Vietnam. He's going to drive home now because he bought this car. And he drove straight through. And all he did was, he only had enough money to gas up the car and get coffee. And he had like $1 in his pocket by the time he got home. Anyhow, after the driving straight through, he came through the door and his parents were like, there to greet him, you know, like, hey son, welcome back from surviving Vietnam. And he said he walked right past them. Walked right past them, turned the bathtub on, got in the bathtub and fell asleep. And like his brothers or something like that had to drag him in and put him in his bed. And then he slept for like 2 days straight. So, driving home from Action Park, I got to put the windows down. I'm throwing water in my face. It's dark. I'm blasting the radio, trying to stay awake. I do not know how I made it home. I don't know how I made it home. I got home and I basically did the same thing. I walked right past my parents. I went right into my bed and I conked out. And I don't think I woke up until like the next evening. Yeah, so, I mean, what? That's Action Park! Callahan here! For Christ's sake. Oh, reporting for duty. Where's the plug here, for God's sake? Yes. And I unplugged my light. Just like that, we're scanning for crimes. All right, we're really like far in here. I think maybe we roll the theme song, for Christ's sake. What do we got here? Oh. Come on, baby. What do we got here? Come on. Come on, you stinking thing. How did this get unplugged? This is what I gotta deal with around here. Somebody used my extension cord and they didn't plug it back in. Thank you! Thank you, Javier! Yeah, I love it. Again. Come on. Come on. News, baby. Can I get any cooperation around here? I don't know. Guys, listen, we went to the garage sales. All right, what do you want me to tell you? The garage sales are almost completely wound down. Okay? I mean, we're heading into, I believe, next week. Almost Thanksgiving. Okay? That's it. Lights out. So this is where we go into a dark time for the show. Until next garage sale season, it's, sink or swim time. Yes. We got to power through the winter. So here we go. Now this is how I know that This show is ordained by God himself. Very first garage sale we go to, as I'm walking up the driveway, what is the guy putting out on the table? This CB antenna. I got so excited. I said, how much for the CB antenna? He goes, oh, $2. So there we go. We're in. Listen, nothing to write home about. Just an ordinary magnetic, stick-on antenna. So I got to figure out a way to ground this. Because I got nothing but time on my hands to do that. Yeah, so now I'm going to wind up pounding a grounding rod into the ground out here. Isn't that something? That's something that always blew my mind. Like, the ground for your house is a rod pounded into the ground. It's like, what is this? Some type of mystic magic going on? Like, electricity is so technical. Like, you think about how wires are wired, and this is so particular, and this, and then where's your ground? Oh, put a metal stick in the ground and pound it into the dirt. That's your ground. It's like, what? What are you, a shaman now? You're an expert technician. Now you look like a shaman out there pounding sticks in the ground. Listen. Whoop-de-doo. So we have our antenna. We have our CB. I don't know if they work, but we're going to find out. But we'll continuously upgrade, right? That way we can harass as many people as possible. Hopefully in other states. Maybe, I got news for you. If the ionosphere is in the right condition, you can get what you call skips, right? The ionic skip of a CB radio. And you can talk to people in other countries. So think about that. Yeah. All right. Went to another garage sale, and lo and behold, I was so excited for this find right here. It's a bag of Voltron toys. Yes. Yes. Now, my experience with Voltron is my buddy Rex, his mother was a flight attendant, and she used to go to Japan all the time. So she brought him what I believe was the Japanese Voltron. I'm not even sure. It was one with like helicopters. Do you guys remember this? They were like helicopters and stuff like this. And it was the complete Voltron. You didn't see anything like this. I wanted to take it, put it under my arm, and run away and never see Rex again. You ever want to do that? Steal one of your buddy's toys and just like run away? And it's like, all right, we don't have to be friends anymore. As long as I get to keep this toy. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. It was this robot that you could take apart. Am I wrong? Was this before Transformers? During? I don't know. But I do remember we had a woman, friend of the family, okay? And she would come over, and every time she came over, she would hand us an envelope, all right? So as a kid, this was the most important person in the family. She would always come over with a gift. She worked in Manhattan. She did very well. She was friends with my mother, okay? She was always handing us cash. It was like, oh my God, she's coming over. And she would hand us cash. And she was like the greatest thing ever. Then she lost her job, and she was like down and out, and she would come over with no cash. And we were like, huh, why? Who are you? Like all of a sudden it was like a big turn. We're like, oh, she died? Well, what are you going to do? She was dead to us after, no more cash. That's how kids are. No more cash, no more gifts. It's like, don't even come over. No, you can't come over. We're busy today. Click. Yeah, that's what fucking pieces of shit scumbags kids are. Anyhow, I remember one time she brought me this yellow lion. Oh yeah, and it had missiles that would shoot out the back. Look at this. The tail flips up. Are you fucking kidding me? The little legs. This is die-cast metal, guys. Okay? Look at this. The fucking mouth opens up there. I mean, come on. Come on. But that's all I got. Was this one. You know, kids would have the whole Voltron. But anyhow, I remember the missiles. I think I lost the missile on the very first launch. It went underneath the carpet or something. Remember how your parents they would change the carpet in the house, and for some reason all your fucking toys were underneath the carpet? They'd rip the carpet was tacked down on the ends. They would rip it off, and it was like every G.I. Joe gun, every missile that you ever shot out of a toy was under there. It's like, oh, there they are. Yeah. So look at that. How neat. How neat. Then we got the blue one here. Yeah. All slightly different, right? A little bit different. He's missing a leg. What can you do? Yeah. This lion here is virtually non-existent. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know much about Voltron. Yeah, this looks like maybe the chest, right? The chest. Number 1. Number 4. And the yellow one is number 5. I don't even know how they interact with each other. Here's a red one. Here's number 2. Very small. With a missing head. Isn't that great? Wait, and there's a head in here. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on! Where does it go? Is that Voltron himself? You stick this, there's a peg. I don't know. We got a lot of missing parts here. But we have a shield, right? A little shield there. And then a bunch of like parts in here. Weapons and stuff like that. Double-ended sword. Like a sword. This is all the shit that gets lost. Oh, here's the other lion's leg. Okay. There's another leg. A couple of swords and whatnot. You know, pieces. Yeah. Now, look at these swords. This is like incredible stuff. So I get this bag of toys and my son immediately has to play with it. Like everything that I get that I'm like, I don't really want anybody to touch it because they're kind of fragile right now. Damn it! Who's got back pain today?
55 North Northern Summer Number 345 South Broad Avenue, West Gates Avenue, and Reed Avenue. Repeating seconds to all team 55 North Northern Summer 345 South Broad Avenue, West Gates Avenue, and Reed Avenue. 604 special.
55-year-old fell down. I mean, I don't know what to say. All right, here we go. So, yeah. So I get this bag of toys, and it's like, no, son, you can't play with those. No, you can't play with those. And then we go to bring them inside. Can we bring them inside and play with them? I'm like, no, we can't play with them. You can't play with those toys. Yes, now I feel like a piece of shit. No, those are daddy's toys. Yes. They're not for you. Those are Dada's toys. Okay? Yes, 44-year-old man toys. Thank you. Anyhow, so that's Voltron. All right. And here we go. You know, I got news for you. It seems like lately these wave radios are falling out of trees every time I go out to the garage sale. I mean, look at this one. It's very special. It's like an alarm clock wave radio with the CD player. Okay? And I had the fucking... Oh, look at this. This thing's got a nice auxiliary in, line out. Please, I got news for you right now. If you have a garage or, you know, a shed like I do, this is a fantastic radio to have inside your shed. Especially if you have the remote. I had the remote. I don't know where it went. I lost the remote. Oh, here it is. Oh, I have it right here. See? So you could put it up in a high place and just turn it on. And maybe pipe in an auxiliary, pipe in a Bluetooth. Why not? So I thought it was very exciting that we could plug this in and see if it works together. Oh, it's on. It's on. Here we go. On.
40s, clear night coming up, breezy.
Here we go.
20s toward the coast, and just about 20 inland. It'll be sunny mid to upper 30s on Wednesday.
Okay, you're boring the shit out of me. All right, out of here. So I need a copyright strike for Harry Styles right now on my program. Thank you. Anyhow, that's it. She works. That's good. I got 2 of these now, and I use one downstairs if I'm going to listen to a CD. I have this romantic idea in my head. Yeah, I'll keep this down here. You know, more junk to keep around. And anytime I ever want to listen to a CD, I can use it. Okay? I haven't used it once. So there you have it. But they sound great when you do use them. Anyhow. So guys, I figured we'd polish this one off with a Nintendo game that I was playing with my son the other day. And hats off to Rare. Can we please? This is an absolute classic, affordable game, by the way. Isometric racer / shooter / strategy / this game, I don't even know what you call it. Cobra Triangle. Oh my God, the music, the graphics for the time. I know what a lot of you are saying. Cobra Triangle is a game of chance. Let me tell you something. It's a hard game. It's a frustrating game. But Cobra Triangle is a great game. I found myself wanting to play it over and over again. How cool is it? It's almost like RC Pro-Am in a motorboat with an outboard motor, with great physics, weapon upgrades, and a weapon bar, much like Gradius. It's a very, very interesting game, and I think it gets overlooked. And me and Phil was really good at Cobra Triangle, by the way. I mean, we used to rent Cobra Triangle with Phil's rental code 621. Picture time! There goes my stool. That's great. That's great. What else? What else can break around? Come on. Oh. Almost forgot the controller. Piped into the old Sansui. And I guess what we'll do here is we'll just try to see how far we can get. Yes. And I'll be playing an insanely difficult NES game from a 45-degree angle while filming. You're welcome. Okay. Here we go. To the Nintendo. Yes. We don't have far to go. Let's see. Cobra. Cobra Triangle, USA. Let's do it. Yes. And bosses. Do we 1988 Rare. Here we go. What a gemstone. Oh yeah. Yes. Listen to that music. You hear the... Okay. Very clean graphics. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, okay, that's how we shoot. That's right. Oh, okay, we got turbo. One up, why not? I love the fact that you have an outboard and everybody else is inboard. And what people don't realize, oh, when you do the spin, right? And get points for that. Now this is crazy. Look at this. What is this boat? Inspector Gadget? I know. All right, here we go. Oh, listen to that music. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, we're rocking. I think I play better at a 45-degree angle. Oh jeez. Okay, come on, baby. Oh yeah. Yes. Jump over it, baby. Here we go. How did I miss that one, please? Oh, come on! Not bad. All right, what do we want? We want speed. All right, so you grab the mines. We all know this. Do I gotta tell you? Ew! That's one down. Come on, sucker. Come on, sucker. Oh, come on, I was in. That's two. Oh! That's three. Come on, come on, come on. No! That's four, we're out of here. I'm not sure what fire does. What did fire do? It increase your, I guess your shot, right? Oh, here we go. This is where it gets impossible. Jesus. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. Listen to that music. Oh. No. No, here we go. No. Here we go. Jesus, this is a game of chance. I'm sorry. Jesus, Crimela. You know what? Get out of my fucking life. All right, you're giving me a headache. Guys, but Cobra Triangle. Can we sip a coffee? I can't get the lights on here. Do you realize that you just tuned into the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization? And you better believe that. With the 4K face! We'll see you next time.